Interesting enough, since you're in a position where you get to see lots of different startups working on some of the same problems, what are some pitfalls that you just see over and over again from founders?
What are some pitfalls? That's a good question. I think that founders can sometimes get caught up in an idea and forget that there needs to be a market and market validation for their idea. So sometimes you'll see like the smartest minds, working on ideas that are I don't know if I want to say just inappropriate, but definitely going to be a very hard market for them to penetrate. So it could either be that they're, you have on one side of the spectrum, either they're working on something where they're just, you don't believe there'll be a big market, and then, why are they wasting their time? Or you can sort of just see that whatever they're trying to work on is just not going to come together, that's even more tough. And on the other hand, you'll see people who are, directly competing with the giants on something that the giants are, super strong at. I don't know, I'm going to give like a random, example is someone starting a photo app that's going to compete with Google Photos, for example, right? So there are players in the field and there are going to be competitors. I don't think you can plan to be David and Goliath, right? It happens when it happens. I don't, it's not necessarily a goal to set out to be, unless you already have some really, really unique angle that you're coming across and some reason that you believe that you can topple the giant. It's probably best not to be throwing stones at a giant, and seeing the reaction.
I see a lot of founders that are so passionate about their idea, and as you said correctly, it's hard sometimes to be focusing all out on the idea, and then you miss, is there a market share for this? Do people want this idea?
So yeah, I mean, I think that a big part of good founders is when they're starting to think about an idea, typically called the ideation phase. It shouldn't just be about ideation. It needs to be about ideation and then validation, right? So you need to, before speaking to, investors, you need to sit down and speak to, first of all, just speak to your family, speak to your friends, speak to other people, get some feedback. If you're going to be selling something, figure out who the customer is, try and figure out who in your network or your network of networks can help you speak to a potential customer and validate that there's a need for the idea that you're working on, right? You don't want to, find yourself having invested your time and your effort and your energy into something to find out a year or two down the line that what you've been building wasn't required by the market that you're expecting to build it for. You're right. You need to validate that the market is there and that the customer exists, or the user, or whatever it is for that particular application. And then when you go about building it, you can start getting feedback from them. Many companies have that, they call them design partners, right? So as you're going through something, you'll find a company who is your target customer and work with them as your design customer, right? Meaning that you're building for them something that, the perk for them is you're building something that they'll need, stronger aligned with their needs. And for you, you're getting to speak to a potential end customer and build out their set of needs. And you might have multiple design partners so that you have a broader base of customers that your product will be ready for.